Hi, Aquarius. Welcome to your November 2023 tarot reading. Still feels weird. I've been talking about this with all the signs. It still feels weird to say November. It's probably going to feel weird to say December, and it's probably going to feel weird to say 2024 because this year, um, it was a weird one. It was like a wormhole. It was like lots of timeline jumping, like just strange. Like we all started in one place at the beginning of the year, just like the glitches on this video. Like it just feels bumpy, right? We all started in one place and we're in a completely different place, most of us. Um, by the end of this year, like if your life looks the same as it did at the beginning of this year, by the end of this year, then you didn't have as weird of a year as the rest of us did. There were a lot of things that had to move, I guess, and shift. So November, November is going to be November and December. I mean, they're going to be just as strange, to be honest. There's just an energy of transformation that's going on right now in a big way. Um, the astrology is kind of crazy. If you would like to go see what the astrology is going to look like for your rising or sun sign, check out our Patreon. We have a lot of content over there for you guys to go take a look at. I'm putting up all the rising sign astrology for tomorrow, for November, and I'll also do a mid-month reading. We're going to talk about Saturn this month. Yeah, we're going to talk about some things. We're going to chat about some stuff. So we'd love to have you over there. And I do have my November calendar open. My 6-month readings are available right now. You can schedule with me in November, or even December. Like if you don't want your reading until December, I think my calendar's open like for 45 days or something. So you can schedule out there. Yeah, there's just a lot. Yeah, a lot of ways to support. If you would like to support, it would be great. Aquarius, the power of surrender. Let's see what it is that Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising will be surrendering for November. Ooh, I like this one for you. I like this one for you. Surrender to joy. A key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling during both the hard and easy times. Keep surrendering to more joy. It's really hard to do this right now. Like, let's be real. Let's get real with each other. It's really hard to surrender to joy right now. And I feel like the reason why it's hard to surrender to joy is because life has just become harder and harder and harder with every day. The material world, that real world that we all have to live in. Um, and it's possible to believe and manifest yourself out of things, but I'm like, it's not impossible, right? It's not impossible to manifest yourself out of a situation, but it's not easy. It's really, really not easy. And sometimes finding joy when we're trying to like just survive, right? That can feel like an impossibility. It really can. It can feel like an impossibility. So surrendering to joy these days looks a lot like acceptance. And also, I'm surprised that the card surrendering to what is didn't come out, because it also looks like to that's, surrendering to what is, accepting what you can control and letting the rest be taken care of. None of us actually knows what this story is meant to look like. And the best that we can do is write our own tale. And you get to choose every single day what you wake up to. You get to choose every single day what your life is going to look like. And there may be some variables that you don't have control over, but there's also a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of variables you do have control over, and yourself is one of them. Ooh. Okay, so I literally hear the words, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. So I don't know what that means for some of you, but I feel like with these cards here, I want to say to you that you don't have to do much in November for the energy to take care of things. November energy, if you watch your rising sign on Patreon, you're going to see this, but November energy is very dry and very arid and very hot. Like, um, like you can trigger something and spark a match and everything explodes, right? And like this wind will just whoosh and everything explodes, right? Um, and it's not that I want to like fear everybody and make everybody think that like which everything's just going to fall apart or anything like that, but I feel like it's not really a month where you want to make waves, right? I feel like it's more of this inner time frame for you guys to sort of take care of what you need to take care of so things can change. And a lot of that surrendering to joy is an inner journey. So we have the Four of Swords, we have the Ace of Swords, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the Eight of Cups. And so I feel like it's just a matter of time before you walk away from something. And I feel like it's just a matter of time before you have that conversation. And I feel like it's just a matter of time before you can kind of take that breath and feel at ease. Finally, right? Um, but what the thing is it now's the time. If you keep saying to yourself, I'm going to do it when I feel, like absolutely you want to do things when you feel like it's the right time to do it. You don't want to like force anything to happen. You don't want to trip over everything while you're doing stuff. You don't want to like, make extra work for yourself just because you jumped a little too early. Like you don't want to do that. But I also feel like part of this, it's just a matter of time, is a hesitation. It feels sort of like a hesitation. Like, I don't even know if I'm ever going to be ready, really ready fully to do whatever it is. Like it's going to be a different thing for everyone. Like, I can't predict what everybody's doing in their lives or like what this next part of your journey is going to look like or exactly what that's going to look like. But I feel like you're biding your time to walk away from something. I feel like you're biding your time. And while that is not a bad thing to do, to like wait until you feel right and you feel ready, will you ever feel right and will you ever feel ready? You got to ask yourself that because you may not ever feel 100% ready to step forward into this next part, whatever it is that you're stepping forward into. There's something there. And that's where your joy is going to be. Stepping into the next part is where your joy is going to be. That's where you're going to find your joy. So let's look at the Four of Swords, the Ace of Swords. And okay. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords. Oof. So I feel like there is So there's a lot of air signs happening here. So obviously one of them is you, and obviously another one could be another air sign in your life, or just another person who is very like tunnel visioned and probably pretty intelligent. But with the Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck, I can see the hesitation. I can see the biding your time. I can see why you wouldn't want to just like bloop, like it's going to be painful. It's not going to, this isn't an easy, it's not an easy decision to make. There's nothing easy about this. And so that's why I feel like with the Four of Swords, we came with the Queen of Swords on the Four of Swords. The Queen of Swords and the King of Swords are both very decisive. They both are very intelligent people. They are very compatible in a lot of ways. But also sometimes people just don't work well together, and we have to be honest with ourselves about that, right? We have the Queen of Swords and we have the King of Swords here. So whoever you're dealing with, it's not like this person is a complete opposite of you. In fact, this person has probably taught you a lot about who you are. I feel like it's just time. Like I almost look at this Wheel of Fortune and I see a clock, right? I look at this Wheel of Fortune, which is what the King of Swords is clarifying. The King of Swords is clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. Um, so I feel like here with the Four of Swords that it's not about driving yourself crazy about making the decision. It's about letting the decision be to it's about letting it be done with ease, right? Not even a softness, just with more of a, not so rigid, not so hard, not so forced. The Six of Cups on the Ace of Swords. I feel like there's an aha moment for you that happens. Maybe it's a conversation, maybe it's an argument, but there's knowledge that comes out of it, right? And also, if there are children involved here, I also feel like that's a conversation that needs to be had. I feel like if there are children with that Six of Cups, I feel like if there are children involved, there's there has to be kind of a mediation. It feels like that Ace of Swords sort of feels like a mediation. So think about the swords, right? The Ace of Swords, it has two sides to it. It's the sword. The Ace of Swords is a sword of justice. And it's also like a sword that just cuts, like, just cuts everybody out, right? And so it can be very cutting or it can be very justifying. And there's so many swords in this reading. And so I think as you're going through November, you're being very decisive. And I think that it's going to, both sides of that sword are going to happen. Things are going to be justified and things are going to be, it's going to be painful because it's going to cut. It's going to be, harsh. So then we have the King of Swords on the Wheel of Fortune. And, part of me feels like this is just another version of you, Aquarius. You could be dealing with another air sign. But I feel like you keep going back between your heart and your mind, your heart and your mind, your heart and your mind. And, the masculine side of us is the logical and the feminine side of us is the emotional side, right? And so you're going with your emotions and you're going with your logic and you're going with your emotions and you're going with your logic. The Wheel of Fortune is divine timing. And yes, as humans, we have free will and we can make choices for ourselves that can like extend that divine timing. But at a certain point, especially when you get the Judgment card, you want to listen to that divine timing. So I feel like you get the call. Whatever it is that you are emotionally attached to, in November, you realize that the only way that you're going to find joy again is if you walk away, is if you allow yourself to go on your own little journey here. And I don't know what that looks like for you, right? But I love this deck because in this Eight of Cups, the cups aren't all spilled and cracked and broken. You can actually come back to it, right? Like those cups aren't really going anywhere. Some of them might be gone when you come back, but Judgment is saying that it's time. And I feel like this, where this Three of Swords is, this isn't a new thing. And I feel like this Three of Swords, it's almost as if, because that Three of Swords is not new, because for an Aquarius, you have to get to that point where you're just like, boom, I'm done. And once you're there, that's your decision. Like, nobody can talk you back into the other way, right? And I feel like that's where you are. You're there. Your heart has been broken enough. The pain you're feeling is enough. And that star is you with that Three of Swords. So because this Three of Swords is older, I do feel like now is the time for you to heal it. And it's not about just patching it up real fast so it stops bleeding. This is about stitches. This is about caring for the wound site, making sure it scabs over correctly, making sure that it is sealed for good. Yes, a scar is always going to be there, but that scar is going to be a reminder to you of how resilient you are and how far you came. Three of Wands, right? There's more. You want so much more than what's happening right now. And I think that this is that surrender for you. That Three of Wands is the surrendering to joy part, right? Let me go find my joy. Let me see what that looks like. And part of that with the Hierophant here is the spiritual part, because connecting back to yourself is that spiritual side. Okay. And this is awesome. I mean, I don't know how comfortable it's going to be, but I love this journey that you're on, Aquarius. I love that you are creating the space for yourself in order to find joy. I think that that's fantastic. So I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.